In the Kent village of Lamberhurst, it's almost time for the annual village conker competition. Conkers, or horse chestnuts, are part of village life. Two of the trees dominate the centre of the village. But it's hops for the brewing industry rather than conkers that are responsible for a large part of local history.
Hops and hopping has been very important to Lamberhurst because it was a good flat river valley and we grew a lot of hops here, and every single farm in the area had its own hop gardens, and itinerant people and Londoners used to come down every September or thereabouts to do the hopping when they had a couple of weeks in which to strip all the hop fields of the hops and get them dried in the oast houses, ready for taking off to be used in the beer making process. This is a hopper's encampment on Furnace Farm at Lamberhurst, and this is where families from the East End of London came down every year during hopping time and camped out for a paid holiday, they called it, to escape from the smog of London right up until the late 1950s. These are the huts that they stayed in, and some at the further end of the track that are no longer here. These are the posh end, brick built with 2 rooms. There was no running water except for the river, and the cookhouse and wash house is over there, and they used to thoroughly enjoy their 2 weeks paid holiday picking hops, which to my mind was not a holiday, it was hard work, but they thoroughly enjoyed it.
And hops did more than provide work. They are even responsible for Lamberhurst being part of Kent rather than Sussex.
In 1894, for administrative purposes, because of the new local government acts where parish councils came into being, the village was asked whether they'd like to be in Kent or in Sussex. This is the parish, and it was decided they'd prefer to be in Kent because Kent hops fetched higher prices, and that's why Lamberhurst is now in Kent and not half in Kent, half in Sussex, or all in Sussex.
Back in the village, last-minute preparations for tonight's conker competition are almost complete.
I've had to check all the conkers, make sure that we've got enough, and sort of make sure that there's the 10 in each pot, so they're all ready to go. So we can got them all neatly sealed, so they're ready for people to pick and choose what they want to do. And yeah, we're ready to roll.
While the rest of Lamberhurst is concentrating on horse chestnuts, in a converted cowshed on the edge of the village, Steve Weston is working with a different kind of wood.
Well, oak, to my mind, is the best timber there is. Lots of character to it. It's pretty much timeless. It can be used for any type of furniture at all. And everything I do is made to measure, so everything's different. I've worked with timber all my life. I was in the building trade for a while, had some time in a joinery shop, but then when the recession first hit, quite a few years ago now, I thought it was time to try something else. I'd made some bits of furniture for home, and my wife said that seems to be the way to go, and I haven't looked back. It's been great. I think it's just mainly just the satisfaction of taking the raw material and making it into something of beauty, really, matching all the grain up so that everything looks just right. From the bare boards at the beginning to the finished article, every decision that's made on that piece is down to me. Every operation is down to me, and to see the finished article from just a pile of oak boards is very rewarding.
Down at the Checkers, the children's conkers have just begun. The conker competition is all about raising funds for the community. It's the kind of thing they're good at in Lamberhurst.
I suppose the only way I can describe it is if you need help, it becomes available. After the service one Armistice Sunday, a newcomer, chap that just moved to the village, he asked one of the British Legion members who the people were that names had just been read out, and they kind of asked around and nobody really knew anything. So they asked me if I'd mind researching them and trying to find out who they were, what they did and what happened to them. So I thought I'd give that one a go. The more I researched, the more I found out, the more I thought this deserves a book. But I couldn't afford to publish a book. So I put a little notice in the parish magazine saying what I was doing and asking if anybody would like to sponsor me. Well, the money just poured in. I couldn't believe it. It was wonderful. And it gave me enough money to do a really proper book. Everyone that sponsored got a copy for sponsoring me, which was wonderful. And then the sale of those books then enabled me to get the names of our fallen put onto the memorial cross opposite the school in 2005. I just felt that these people were being forgotten, and it is, we will remember them, and they weren't being remembered as individuals, just as numbers. So I decided that it would be well worth giving them their own stories and making them real again.
The latest village fundraiser is now getting well underway. It's time for the big kids to dust off their secret strategies for conquering all. Barbara Twiss has been keeping a secret too.
Only a few people in the village knew, but it has spread around the village since this all happened, and since it was known, people have come to the front door bearing gifts. This one is my favourite. It's a wooden hive, handmade, hand-turned, and it holds a silver thimble, and I just think it's so beautifully made and very tactile, and it has a little silver bee on the outside of the hive, and I love it. I like bees. I like what they do in the garden. I think they're friendly insects, unlike wasps. They just make me smile. And I think anything that makes you smile or makes you cheerful is no bad thing.
At the Checkers, where the conquer competition is in full swing, not everyone is cheerful. Things aren't going well for defending champion James Weston.
I've lost 3 times and bought another conquer and hopefully do well better with that one. It's going to
He moved, he moved. Yeah.
I think it's good for the community. It brings people together, and you've got all ages here.
Got this up to 4 now, yeah? Hasn't even got a crack in it yet, so yeah, looking good.
I think it just shows how all mad we are in little villages, and they come out and support it, and it just gives a great atmosphere, and a great, just shows how much the community pulls together.
Yes! Won it, Weston does it again!
Here we are, young man. For the 3rd year running, overall winner. Well done.
This is 3 years on the trot. Yeah, it feels alright, quite good, yeah.